Aloha, everybody. This is Tiggy Maximus with Tiggy Maximus Talks, episode 160, episode 160 on YouTube. Thank you guys for listening to this podcast. Most of these episodes, some of these episodes. Thank you for following, subscribing, and even donating towards the podcast. And if you feel like it, there is a link on the Spotify episode. Just click the link and it will let you guys donate money towards the podcast. Been to two comedy shows recently. Both were on Friday night. February, was it February? February 2nd. Got to check out the Quantum Brewery. It's right across from the Mic Drop in Claremont Miss Boulevard. It's right next to this Vietnamese food place I like a lot, Doing Mai. Very amazing Vietnamese food. Probably one of the best Asian restaurants in San Diego. And just a couple doors down, you got the Quantum Brewery, Quantum Brewing. Aaron Trahan, he does run this mic, and it wasn't too long ago he started this comedy show and given opportunities for a lot of comics to do their material, mainly because some of the open mics and some other mics have been closing down, and it provides opportunities for other places to try to get in on the comedy scene. So Aaron Trahan runs a show. I guess I've noticed that he's run the show on Friday nights. I believe it's like I think 7:30 start time, and it goes from like 7:30 to like 9-ish, 9:15, 9:30. So the people on this particular show, you got the host, John Alexander III. I got to see his comedy set. I guess it's like maybe his first time seeing him do like more than 10 minutes. So that was pretty decent. The crowd wasn't too bad. The crowd was probably less than 30 people at the Quantum Brewery, and got some good laughs from his set. I would probably say that John Alexander was a 7.9 out of 10. Then I remembered seeing Samantha Schwimmer. Very loud voice, as usual. She kind of had some new material, and she did have her one joke about taking home a baby from Germany as part of her reparations as being a Jewish woman. That got some interesting laughs, and she did a little bit of crowd work, and to know this one couple that was right kind of like to my left near the window. But after that, got some laughs, but not too many laughs though. I thought that she was a 7.6 out of 10 for her comedy. I believe there was a Chuck Foster. He got some time. I actually do remember this guy. Guy remembers me. He has some interesting jokes, and he got some good laughs for his set. I would probably say that Chuck was probably an 8 8 out of 10 for his comedy. Um, I guess he does have some old man or dad jokes. um, I do remember there was um, a Xana Weiss. Um, she did alright. Got some laughs from the crowd of 30 or less. Um, I could tell that her looks are a little different. When I first remembered seeing her, she had a more like gothic attire, but then now she doesn't have like the gothic makeup on or the outfits, and she looks um, like a normal gal actually. Um, um, Jokes are pretty good. Um, there were some laughs with the crowd. I would probably would say she was probably a 7.7 out of 10 for her comedy. Um, I believe there was a Taylor Spencer. Um, she went up, got some laughs. Um, I would say Taylor's probably a 7.8 out of 10 with the crowd and her jokes. Um, I do remember there was a Kyle Drake. I did alright. Um, he got some laughs during his set with this crowd. I would probably say he was probably a 7.7 out of 10. Um, there was an Adrian Diaz. Saw him pop in. Um, he did talk about ants and red ants in his pants, and then there was the red uncles joke he has. So I thought that Adrian did pretty well. He had a bit of storytelling to his set. Um, I would say Adrian was probably a 7.8 out of 10 for his comedy. Aaron Trahan went up. He had a lot of smart jokes. Kind of like reminds me of Mike McCullough actually. um, uh, I would say Aaron was. I probably would say a 7.8 out of 10 for his comedy. And then we have the Marine of comedy, Kevin Davis. Mostly some of the older jokes he has. I remembered um, he was talking about stuff about being old and having um, kind of like short-term memory, and then kind of acting it out as he kind of repeated some things. Um, so, but then he talked about some other stuff. I think he had some new material. It was kind of cool seeing him though, and he did pretty well with the crowd. Um, I would probably say that Kevin Davis was an 8.4 out of 10 for his comedy. Um, I remember there was a guy by the name of Marquez. He went up. I guess he's kind of new to the comedy scene, or I haven't seen him around from a lot of the showcases. So I guess maybe he just kind of do a lot of bars. Did pretty well though. I thought he was pretty funny. He was probably an 8.1 out of 10. Um, there was a guy who talked about being a nurse. He wore double scrubs because the reason why he's wearing double scrubs because patients apparently do poop on him or something. So, um, so he talked about that. I remembered. Um, I thought that the guy was probably 7.4 out of 10 for his comedy. There was a guy that also went up. I don't remember much from his comedy though, but I don't remember a lot of people laughing too much, and he would say it was about a 7 out of 10. Um, um, I do remember seeing a Diana Puig, but she didn't go up. She was there as a spectator. Um, there was Fed One Somo, and he went up, had some good jokes, had some few laughs, but it started to kind of die down as the set went on, and Fed One, I thought that even with all that, he was about a 7.7 out of 10. Out of all the comedy on that show, from what I can remember, Kevin Davis and Kevin Davis did the best of everybody, from what I can remember. So yeah, that was that show. And then I got to mingle with some of the people there, got to know more of John and Aaron, and got a picture with those two guys since they were host and producer. Um, so you have a chance, guys, check out some comedy. There's probably some different comics every Friday there, so check out their show at the Quantum Brewery, Claremont Mesa Boulevard, across from the Mic Drop Comedy Club. And if you want to go to both venues, it's a walking distance to both. So yeah, I'll probably go back to this show on Fridays at some point. I'll probably go to the Duckfoot Brewery this Friday with Alex Petit, with weather permitting. We'll see how that goes. If that's not going to work out, I might go up to LA to see Maya Spillman again. This time, trying to make it good on time in that LA traffic. So we'll see. I did go to another show after the Quantum Brewing. Went to the Madhouse. Rafa Camargo was on the show, and G King was on there. And so I wanted to see how it was. It was pretty much it was really a good show. I walked in during Tim Hill's set, and the last thing I remembered was he got some applause, but then didn't want the applause because it was too late or something. But the crowd the crowd was pretty good for a 10 o'clock show. So let's say Tim Hill was an 8 out of 10 for his comedy. I believe I did see Grant Bozem hosting. Got the vibe up. Got a nice pink suit on. He was 8.1 out of 10 for his comedy, and going in between comics. And then there was Rafa Camargo came back from Austin, wanted to go see him. I still remember his one joke about how he got arrested for, I guess, public intoxication and somewhat being part of a male prostitution ring. Because cops see him and his buddy and then arrested them separately. Um, and then he had asked the cop, well, even though you're going to arrest me for public intoxication, but just between you and me, who did you think was the male prostitute? And then said, well, from where you're going to go very soon, I think you're going to do pretty well in prison or jail. So, yeah. So I always like that joke. That's probably one of his best ones. And he has some other jokes too. And he did pretty well with this crowd. I would say Rafa was probably an 8.5 out of 10. I did get to see Jokin Word. So I guess the guy's name was Kells Barksdale, I think his name was. He runs a show called Jokin Word with Camille Waters. So he does travel a lot. And he did pretty well on stage. Crowd liked him a lot. I think he mentioned like 49ers and Raiders during this set. So that's pretty cool. Got to talk to him after the show. I think he did pretty well. He was an 8.6 out of 10 for his comedy. And I got to see the headliner, G King. First time seeing the guy. Guy does travel a lot. He does travel between LA and San Diego, and actually found out Kells actually lives in Poway. Or he's trying to live down here in San Diego, and I think G King does have like a place to go to. I guess like he has a place down here in San Diego in Poway too as well. So something about living in San Diego. And you know what's cool is that he also does Uber Eats on the side. So I do Uber Eats on the side too. So we got to chat a little bit, and then he had a lot of great jokes, talking about Uber Eats, talking about picking up food, eating a fry. I guess he talked about like some weird orders. He wants like a day job. But he did really well with the crowd. I would say he was about an 8.7 out of 10 for his comedy. Great stuff. Crowd, like pretty much everybody went up from what I can tell when I went there. So, and you know, Madhouse, they were pretty cool. They are very hospitable. They treat me very well, and it's nice when you're a frequent customer, and you know they know your name, and they treat you pretty well on any given night. So I like that. So kudos to Ashley, Chris Espinosa, Nas, Rafa Camargo, so that whole crew. So mad props. So I'm going to talk about sports just for a little bit. Lakers are kind of hanging around 500 right now. They're in ninth place in the Western Conference with the NBA. They did beat the Boston Celtics 114-105 not too long ago. They did just beat the Charlotte Hornets. What's surprising, the Lakers beat the Celtics in Boston without LeBron or Anthony Davis in the lineup. That's impressive. It looks like Austin Reeves just kind of blew up, and Boston Celtics could not handle them and took them for granted. Because the Celtics, I think, were 15.5 point favorites in that game, and they lost by 9. So at least the Lakers are trying to make a push for the playoffs, and hopefully they get out of the play-in bracket between 7 to 10, and hopefully get the number 6 seed. But we'll see how things are going to go. Right now, the LA Clippers are number 1 in the West right now, followed by the Wolves and the Timberwolves and the Thunder, 2 and 3. Um, and I guess number 4, um, 4, 5, and 6. I'm guessing 4, 5, 6 is probably, I don't know, the Suns, the Pelicans, um, the Kings. I guess the Kings are in there. Suns, Pelicans, and then you are followed by the Mavericks, the um, the Mavericks, the Lakers. I guess you can kind of throw in there the Rockets. Um, so it's still competitive Western Conference, like at least 9 teams deep. So we'll see how the Lakers are gonna do. Um, and then Boston is still number 1 in the East, followed by I think the Milwaukee Bucks, number 2. The Sixers are number 3, but they're falling because of the Joel Embiid just got surgery, so they may not be number 3 for very much longer. They're gonna keep sliding and losing games. Oh, the Warriors are also in that playing bracket too. They're pretty much close to the Rockets and the Lakers, so they're in the hunt. LA Kings are doing pretty well in NHL. They're the 7th best team in the Western Conference, and they think they're in 4th place in the Pacific Division. They are trailing the Edmonton Oilers, who just ended their 16-game winning streak. It was ended by the Golden Knights of Vegas, your defending Stanley Cup champions. They broke the streak last night, 3-1. And then I guess the Vancouver Canucks are number 1 in the Pacific Division and possibly number 1 in the the Western Conference. So yeah, Kings are they've been losing a lot more games lately though, and they just fired their coach. So hopefully the Kings can still survive to the end of the season, make the playoffs, and try to make some kind of splash in the playoffs, but it's going to be kind of hard because the Edmonton Oilers, the Golden Knights, and the Canucks are very tough to beat. So chances are they're probably going to face either the Avalanche or the Canucks in the first round. So cross your fingers. Well, and some food stuff. I just wanted to mention there's a place called Tisane up in Garden Grove. A lot of boba drinks and coffee. Great staff. The main girl who works there, she recommended some drinks, and I got the Milan Rouge. It was really good stuff. The drink was pretty good with coffee jelly, and I enjoyed it a lot, and it helped me keep me awake on my drive home from Garden Grove to San Diego. So the drink was about a 9 out of 10, and the place itself and the staff, 9 out of 10. I did get to try this one, uh, 2 new like food places I want to talk about. One being the Bangkok Thai Spices restaurant. It's on 30th Street in North Park. Um, the spring rolls were pretty good. It was tofu, pretty good stuff. I would say it was a 9 out of 10. And I think I've had what was probably a combination pad thai. Um, really good stuff. I would say it was an 8.8 out of 10. Good combination of proteins, and pad thai was pretty good. Um, uh, the restaurant, the staff was pretty good, pretty nice to me. Um, I probably would say they were probably um, 8.75. And then I gotta try this new place in Adams Avenue. Um, it's an Asian fusion place. It's a mixture of Japanese food and Vietnamese food. And I got to try their Bangkok pad thai with chicken. Really good stuff. Um, a lot of pad thai noodles. And the meats were pretty good, and the veggies that were there, they was pretty good. Staff was pretty good. Staff, I would say, was probably an 8.8 out of 10. The food for the Bangkok pad thai, 8.9 out of 10. Really good stuff. And I got to try their spring rolls with shrimp. It had like a miso vinaigrette and peanut sauce mixed together. You can tell that it was like 50-50, and you can tell the distinction between the two sauces, and it was cut up in half. So that was pretty good stuff. I would say 8.9 for their spring rolls with shrimp. And then I got to try their version of yeah, the pad thai noodles. So yeah, that was like a 8.9 out of 10. I got to try their pork goizas. Pretty good stuff. I enjoyed it. 8.9 out of 10. Um, and I got to try a little bit of their udon. Really good. Good broth, good noodles. 8.8 out of 10. So, but yeah, the staff. Yeah, 8.8 out of 10 for the staff. And the owner of the restaurant, he's also the cook, his name was Eric. So, really nice guy. Um, Said that the place opened in 2009. So, the place is called Dao Fu. Dao Fu Restaurant. Opened in 2009. So, 15 years in the business. So, it's right across from the Adams Avenue Theater, where the Abnormal Heights or Abnormal Nights comedy show is every week, every month. So it's across the street from Lestat's too. They also have, I guess, Monday night comedy at Lestat's. So check that out. Lestat's, Adams Avenue Theater for Abnormal Nights comedy. And if you're in the mood for Asian fusion food, try out Dao Fu Restaurant in Adams Avenue, right across from the Adams Avenue Theater and Lestat's. Well, that's it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I will talk more about food, comedy, and sports out on episode 161. Talk to you guys later, and booyaka! You know the saying goes, boom! Tiggy Maximus signing off, guys. Alright, later, guys.